and then we will get started. So my plan is I'm going to explain that we got booted off, okay?
Yeah.
Got booted off and so forth, and I've got some interesting stuff. So, but you
Okay.
interject anything you want to do, okay? All right.
I did want to tell you, did you see David Nino's most recent thing? We could talk about it, about what has happened with his dad.
No, I haven't seen it. I knew his dad was sick.
It was rough. He just
Uh,
posted like an hour ago. His dad ended up getting the jab.
like
He
my
was
dad.
forced. He was forced. He was in the ER a while back and like it was pumped through so many drugs and he was just like they just gave it to him. And now his effects, he's getting nerve damage, he has anxiety. He's like, my father's never had any of this, and now this is what's going on.
Okay, we're going live on YouTube, so we'll definitely talk about it, getting ready. Yeah, there's a lot. So we
Yeah,
are
what's going
we are
on.
live. Okay, we're going live on YouTube, so we'll definitely. Okay, so today is May 21st.
May
What a beautiful
21st.
what a beautiful day. I had a wonderful workout this morning. I got me a new timer on my Apple Watch, just so you know. So if I
Which
can
one did you
read,
get?
mine is called uh, it is Intervals Pro. That little
Oh yeah, I think I've heard of that one. That's not the one I use, but the
but
interval timers are great.
oh, so I got to listen to the music you've been feeding, giving me all the different Christian music, and I did an hour of TRX out there on the tree right by the bay, and it was epic. So
Sounds
yeah,
so good.
yeah, I love working out. But I want to welcome everyone. Hopefully, we might get a few people live here. We haven't as of yet, but I'm going to get us to go live here too on chat, just so we have that available. So just give me 1 second. Forgot about that. Okay, we're now live. So for people that don't know, Taffy and I got put into YouTube jail.
It's a badge of honor.
Badge of honor a little over a week ago. Sounds like we must be over the target. So given we have a relatively small group, but we're over the target. And I will say that our subscription base is growing. The amount of people we have watching our videos is growing, so we appreciate that. And we would ask anyone to, if you do see it, to subscribe to us. That way you'll know when we're going to go live and so forth. So that way you'll at least know we're going to be doing a show. The plan is at least do one once a week, maybe possibly twice a week. Just depends on our schedules. Like everyone, we have a lot going on. There's a lot going on in this world today. Which is all good, and we just want to try and give people a little peek under the tent as to what's been going on in the world, because it's not reported on the mainstream media, and there's a reason why it's not reported, because they want to keep you and everyone uninformed and just send the message out that they want you to hear. And all we're trying to do is just get people to kind of wake up, ask questions, and kind of do a deep dive on information that's sent to you. And the other thing that for me personally, just as a further explanation, the name of our channel here is Lane 4. Of course, it's my name, and then we use the term, or I use the term, soon you're going to have to pick your lane. And it's going to be picking your lane is you'll have a choice here in the very near future between good and evil, or another way of saying it, versus God versus Satan. And I have recently, in the last 7 months, have found Christ, and it's opened my eyes as I've been reading the Bible every day and find the correlations of what's going on in the world today, how it correlates to the Bible, which is a fascinating thing. And I personally go out every morning and I work out. In fact, in the last year, I've now lost 45 pounds. I'm in the best shape of my life. And as I'm out there, I'm using the tool of the fact that I have evolved. I was saying to a different person, I'm now bald. I was for 61 years, I had hair, shaved my head, and I've always been in shape, but now I'm in a totally different shape. And I now use that, quite honestly, as a tool of God when I'm out, because people now see the things that I do physically at my age of 62, and it sparks a conversation. And then I'm able to, in a very subtle way, navigate it towards who they are spiritually, and some aren't. And in fact, I've had one the last 2 days with a young man named Jason, who's an ex-felon, 15 years, and he's got twins that live up in Alaska, and he's just down and out. And I speak to him every morning, and
Wow.
he's gonna make it. I can tell. So
Wow, that's pretty cool. How did you meet him?
just random. I was working out. I work out. I have my TRX hanging from a tree. It's a beautiful area, and I'd seen him there the other day, where he was out in the park, and I always try and say hello to everyone, good morning or have a blessed day. And I had said it to him, and he made a comment. He goes, "Wow," he goes, "Man, those exercises you do on that tree." So he engaged, and I engaged with him. I asked him if he was homeless, and he said yes, and we just went down the path. And I said, "Why are you homeless?" And he kind of went down the path of, he had done some wrongs, and he was a felon. And I asked him, he's 42, and he said 15 of his 42 years he spent in prison. But I could see in his eyes, he had, in his core, he was a good person. And so this morning, we had a good conversation, and just tell him to stay positive. Don't let the devil into your brain. That's one of the things that I'm also letting people know is you have to stay in a positive frequency. If you dwell on the negative, you'll stay in the negative.
Yeah.
Being in the positive is where it's at, and that's what's happened to me over the last 7 months. Is my frequency of who I am has increased exponentially, and it resonates with people. They see it. I don't realize it, but they see it. And I mean, I have so many conversations, which is really a great thing to do, because that's how we are going to win this battle. Because the devil wants us to be divided and negative,
Yeah.
and you name it. I don't
Well,
go
what you're explaining, Dad, is actually, if you're going to put a scripture around it, is scriptural. I can't tell you exactly where to find it in the Bible, but I know that scripture says to take every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. And when we think about in Galatians 5, the fruits of the Spirit, which are like when you have Christ in you, and his characteristics are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness. There's my child. Goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And when we have a positive mind, and we taking the thoughts that we're having in our mind captive and making sure they're aligning up with the fruits of the Spirit. Are they love? Are they joy? Are they peace and patience? And when we really get in tune with our body, like you're saying, understanding what you're feeling, you take that thought captive. Is that thought anxious? Is it destructive? Is it anger? What are the thoughts? And are they comparing? And how can I take it captive and make it obedient to being loving and joyful and patient? And that's really going to change, I feel like, a lot of people on how they approach life and situations.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, Taffy. Right now, I have some pretty compelling things going on in my life, that in my old mindset I would view as detrimental.
Yeah.
But God spoke to me this morning and said, "Don't worry about it. You got it handled." Okay.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna worry about it. I'm gonna keep marching forward, and I know that good things will happen out of it. So that's what it's all about. If you just stay positive and really, they use the term, your intuition, and I've said it before in this, your intuition really is your connection to God. It's the Holy Spirit within you. We all have it within us. You just have to open it up, and don't let the negativity that's in this world, because if you think about the things that you watch on TV, whether it's movies, because I'm a firm believer Hollywood's about to be totally obliterated, because everything that they put out is predominantly negative. It gets you in a negative zone, in a negative frequency, a very low frequency. And so all that has to change in your life. You watch the news, it's all negative. If you look what's going on in the world today, it's negative. I've cleansed myself of that. I stay in the positive realm, and there is great things happening to me personally, and I know that I'm having an effect on other people, which that's my biggest joy of anything.
Yeah.
Is getting other people to kind of understand whatever's going on in your world. Just stay focused, stay centered. Learn who Christ is, learn who the Holy Spirit is within you, and you will find yourself in a much better place in your life. It happens.
It happens, and it helps. I feel like, and like you explained, I don't know what situation you're talking about, but even like, I think I'm back to situations I've had in the very recent things that have happened. Like, it's been negative situations that I have been able to take captive and surrender to the Lord and ask him to show me where I can find peace in that. And I mean, there was moments where it was tough, but like, I was able to take that and eliminate the worry and just be like, look, there is nothing that can be added to my life by worrying and fretting over whatever is going on here.
Right.
So just surrender that and just find the good and just focus on that.
Trust your inner soul, because your inner soul is that connection to God. It really is. It really is. And he speaks to me like daily on things that happen, and it's becoming clearer and clearer. And it's because I do believe it's because I am operating at a higher frequency. And part of that for me has been not watching the news. Okay. Now, I do find out through snippets of what is being said, but I don't watch the news. Okay. I want to go out on my own and see what's happening. That's kind of what we're actually doing here. We're just trying to give people some information to say, just look at this alternative source. The other thing that I have to practice on here, which quite honestly, it's really tough for me, because I want to say what I feel, but I know if I say what I feel, we'll get booted off again. Okay. So, so I'm going to try and catch myself not saying the V word. Got to do this. I can't talk about when people do a ballot and they want to put someone in office. I can't talk about that too much, because then you'll get booted off. So we'll find ways to navigate around this so we don't get booted off. But I also want to let people know is that I will have in the description box a link to our Instagram, as well as our alternative channel, which is called Pick Your Lane 2, where I'll also upload stuff. And then we're also on Rumble. So after these, I'll also upload these to Rumble, and I'll have a link to it. Because you never know. I mean, we could get booted off after this one, but I'll have it on Rumble.
Even if we're booted, we will always let everybody know on Instagram what's going on, and we'll always do a show. It just may not go live, and we may have to just upload it to Rumble.
And also Telegram too. On Telegram also. Yeah. And also Telegram, we now have chat. So I got that activated.
Has anyone been chatting? I haven't looked on it.
I haven't looked this morning, but no. We'll get there. But I want to start off with something really, really positive. I'm going to share my screen on this. I don't know, Taffy, if you've seen this. I sent it to you last night.
I didn't get a chance. I started listening to Mike Jaco, so I didn't watch.
Okay. Well, this is a young girl, probably I would say 3 or 4 years old. Okay. And it's amazing what this young girl says.
I can't see. Oh, there it is.
Okay, so let me open this up.
Oh, look at that.
So I'm going to play this.
Is this, do you know when this was taken?
Barely anybody likes masks in schools. Their children are suffocating. You don't know what it feels like, and it's nonsense. Seriously. Like, why would you do that? Why in the world would you do that? And God created us so we can be free people. And we're not being free here or at public schools. Okay? So I would take your masks off if I were you. And I'm not wearing a mask right now, and I never will as much as I can. And George Washington made America so we could be free citizens of the United States of America. And the Statue of Liberty is for liberty and freedom, and we're not free. So maybe you just don't believe in George Washington or God, or like the boss of you or someone is controlling you. Stand up.
That was it. It stopped.
Woo!
Yeah. Pretty good for a little girl.
That's really good.
Yeah, I was.
Did you see the one where the 4th grade boy stood up at the the school board and I love that.
Yeah.
Told them how he felt about the masks, and he wanted to. It's pretty much the same situation.
Yeah.
Diane, I don't want you on camera, please. Okay, not right now, Mom. Grandpa. Okay. Sorry.
No problem. So so that was just a good thing to start off with. I wanted people to kind of see, there is individuals starting to rise up in the U.S. and ironically, there's a lot of kids stuff, which I think, if it starts with kids, that's the best thing because they speak the truth.
Yeah.
So, but there was something I wanted to let people know about, and I don't know if it's called the Rockckefeller Plan. Have you ever heard of it, Taffy?
Mm-mm.
Okay, the Rockckefeller Plan. This was written in 2010, and people could look it up. In fact, if you were just look up the Rockckefeller Plan of 2010, and I'll share the screen here so people can see it. And there's many articles on it, many articles. Can you see that, Tabby?
Yes.
Okay. So this is this was done in 2010, the Rockckefeller Plan, and I can't say a lot of this because we'll get booted off, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But there is very compelling information about the overall population, about people, who might a lot of people might get sick, and the process, and how they, reduce the amount of people on the earth.
So you're saying this was a plan that who created this plan?
The Rockefellers.
The Rockefellers. And the Rockefellers are who?
They are part of what I'll call the Illuminati families.
Uh-huh.
Okay, there's, roughly, if people would realize, there's about, I would say across the globe, there's probably 3,000 people that control the 7.5 billion people on the earth through media, through pharmaceuticals, you name it. And the Rockefeller families is one of them, as well as the Rothschilds, the Warburgs, and so forth. But they are one of the, if people would really do the research on these families and understand what their reach is and what they touch and what they can manipulate, it's pretty compelling, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Again, we have to watch what we say here. So I'm just putting this out there that if people would to, get on their iPad, their computer, their phone, and, type in the Rockefeller,
oh my gosh,
Rockefeller Plan.
So I'm reading one of them, which I'm not going to read out loud,
Right.
But it's about this.
Yes, it's about
and
this.
It says, and it's called the Gates ID 2020.
Yeah, well, wait till I get further on this one, okay?
Oh my gosh.
So there's that one, and then I'm going to keep this up for a minute. Let me pull this over here and go back to this. Okay, there's a website, and this is one that is so very important. It's called timetofreeamerica.com.
No.
And there's a gentleman by the name of is it Clay Walker? Okay, this is one of his websites. Clay Walker, if people do it, and I mean, he's an entrepreneur. There's a country
singer named Clay Walker,
Clay
right?
Walker. I'll get it. I probably got it wrong. Clay. He's the guy that did the big conference in Oklahoma.
He's the one from Thrive Time.
Yeah, Thrive Time. Yes.
Yeah.
Clay's his name.
It's definitely not Clay Walker. It's Clay. I don't know.
Clay Clark.
Clay Clark.
Okay. Very, very spiritual man, and he's an entrepreneur, and he actually started off doing DJing back a long time ago and grew this business, and he's a very, very intuitive person. He has a whole website here, and it is timetofreeamerica.com, and there's all kinds of little things that'll launch you right to it, okay? The truth about what happened in 2020, the truth about mandates, the truth about Gates and Epstein, the truth about treatments.
And then, so when you click on one of these, Dad, does this then take you to documents that he's found?
So here's one that's the truth about Dr. Fauci. Okay, I'm going to click on it. Okay, and then down below it will give you all the information you will need to find about Dr. Fauci. Okay, it's timetofreeamerica.com. And so what Clay has done is he's done a lot of the pre-work for people, okay? Like, here's the truth about reopening schools. Click on that, and it'll give you all the articles and links relative to schools.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a great resource for people. Okay, Clay's
Wow.
done a lot of work about what's going on in the world. Okay,
Huh.
and again, a lot of this I can't say because we'd get booted off. But
Yeah.
there's a link out there, timetofreeamerica.com. It would be a great starting point for individuals to just navigate through it. Okay, and again, this will be in the actual description box. It's just a wonderful resource. And now I'll be telling you, I've looked at this, and a lot of stuff that he has, I also have. So it's kind of like a validation of when I go on my deep dives. Not that I'm the litmus test, but it's just, it's kind of nice to see.
Well, I feel like you'll hear something and you'll go research and find out the truth, and then you save it like your file on the like Gates and Epstein stuff.
Right. It's just more of a reference, okay?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if people know this, but back in 2017, Dr. Fauci said that there would be a surprise disease during the previous president's administration. Okay, and I'm going to pull it up.
Oh yeah, you are good.
Okay, and so he had an ad here. So this is wait for the ad, but again, this is where he had said, back in 2017, I'm going to put it here. You can read what it says. Warned the previous guy's administration 2017 of surprise infectious disease outbreak. Wonder how he knew that. Okay, in 2017, it's right there, and this is him talking about it. Okay, people need to understand. I mean, this guy is under a lot of heat right now.
He is.
A lot of heat. Okay. All right. Again,
he's being found out for all of his lies.
Right. So, okay. And then I don't know if people know what the term, it's been on the news lately, gain of function. Okay. Which Mr. Fauci was, let me open this one up. And this is basically what he got caught, and Rand Paul called him out on it in the latest hearing about the whole gain of function. And this is where they pretty much made that the current item that's getting people sick, how it was manipulated through gain of function. Okay, and this is just an explanation of what gain of function is, and he was basically caught in a lie on television through that hearing. Okay.
So can you talk about what gain of function is?
It's basically you're basically taking a virus from a rat or a bat and injecting it, making it putting it into an actual human. Okay.
Which is what he's doing too.
And so what had happened is it was made illegal to do that, and then he went to Wuhan, China, to make it happen. And Rand Paul, which I do believe I have this, I do believe I have the actual conversation. Oops, right here. Got to play the ad first. I have a lot of stuff opened up, but this is something that people need to understand.
Is yes ahead for us. It is how we respond to that challenge that's going to determine what the ultimate endpoint is going to be. We have a very, very critical point now. If you look at the curves that I've described multiple times, this window that we're in is going to be very important for us to stay ahead of this curve.
This is actually the wrong one. I'll have it on here in a minute, but this is where Rand Paul calls out Dr. Fauci in a hearing, and he was basically caught in a lie. So I'll have it here. It's here. It's coming up. So
I think you may have played that last week.
Yeah. So, but then the other thing is, I don't know if people realize this, what they have to do to make this whatever we want to call it, COVID, um, what they use are human fetal parts. Okay, all right? And there's a term that they need to be fresh, not frozen parts. Okay, in Judicial Watch, which I know if I play this, I'll get booted off. Okay. But you can read this: FDA paid for fresh and never frozen human fetal parts for the use in humanized mice creation. This is Judicial Watch. You can look up Judicial Watch. It's a great organization. Okay. It's all right here. Okay. So there is, I will say, very nefarious things going on in our world. Okay. And people need to understand that this is Satan doing his work. And they are purposely not letting people know, keeping people in a lower frequency, keeping people pissed off, making riots, making wars across the world, making chaos across the world. Because you think about it, last year at this time, I mean, you know, the chaos we had was all these people doing the crazy stuff in the cities because they felt that it had to do with, you know, George Floyd and stuff, which that's going to be a whole nother rude awakening for people. And something to think about here. This is kind of interesting, Taffy.
But you still want to be sharing screen, Dad?
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. There's a lot of people that became very, very, very rich during this whole time period. Okay. One of which was Amazon. Okay. You think about how many billions of dollars Amazon was able to create during this last year. Okay. And there was, if you think about Amazon, all right, prior to last year, all of a sudden they had over 100,000 new vehicles wrapped for delivery. Okay. They were ready to go. All right. And if people dig into the Amazon and all the vehicles that they bought and who they were funding, okay, this was all planned. Okay. And they had the infrastructure ready because they knew that everyone would be locked down, and they had all the assets ready to be deployed. Why would Amazon double their fleet prior to this? Because they knew. Okay, they knew and they profited. Okay.
Yeah.
If you think about it, I don't know if you just see all those new green vans that showed up.
Oh yeah.
Okay. How did
They're
that
everywhere.
happen? How did that happen? And if people dig into it, it's out there. In fact, it's on the Clay Clark site on the Time to Free America. You can dig into that about the whole Amazon piece. Okay. This is a nefarious operation that is taking the wealthiest people in the world. If you find out where Zuckerberg puts his money, Gates, they're all in same organizations. Okay. These same people control the world. You're going to find out that, you know, Mr. Gates is part of the Rockefeller family. Same as Zuckerberg. They're all connected, but they changed their names so it's not so blatant. Okay.
Yeah.
They're all part of this bloodline family. All that money is in these families, and these 3,000 people control our globe. And people might say it's conspiracy theorists. I could give a crap. Go look for yourself. Prove me wrong. It's out there. If people just dig, but I've repeated before, if you use Google, your first probably 10 pages are going to say it's conspiracy theories, conspiracy theories, conspiracy theories. Use DuckDuckGo, probably your first 5 or 6 will say it. But if you dig deep, you'll find the articles, okay? Because they don't want you to know what's going on, okay? And then I've brought this one up before. Kerry Mullis was a doctor, and I'm gonna put this up, okay? This is what he said about Mr. Fauci. And this guy he's passed away mysteriously at a young age. He's the one who created the PCR test for COVID, okay? And he said it totally is used in the wrong way, okay?
is it about humanity that wants to go to all the details and stuff and listen? You know, these guys like Fauci get up there and start talking. You know, he doesn't know anything really about anything, and I'd say that to his face. Nothing. The man thinks you can take a blood sample and stick it in an electron microscope, and if it's got a virus in there, you'll know it. He doesn't understand electron microscopy, and he doesn't understand medicine, and he should not be in a position like he's in. Most of those guys up there on the top are just total administrative people, and they don't know anything about what's going on at the bottom. You know, those guys have got an agenda, which is not what we would like them to have, being that we pay for them to take care of our health in some way. They've got a personal kind of agenda. They make up their own rules as they go. They change them when they want to, and they smugly, like Tony Fauci, does not mind going on television in front of the people who pay his salary and lie directly into the camera. You can't expect the sheep to really respect the best and the brightest. They don't know the difference, really. I mean, I like humans. Don't get me wrong, but basically, the vast majority of them do not possess the ability to judge who is and who isn't a really good scientist. I mean, that's a problem. That's a main problem, actually, with science, I'd say, in this century, because science is being judged by people. Funding is being done by people who don't understand it. Okay, who do we trust? Fauci? Fauci doesn't know enough to, you know. If Fauci wants to get on television with somebody who knows a little bit about this stuff and debate him, he could easily do it, because he's been asked. I mean, I've had a lot of people, president of the University of South Carolina asked Fauci if he'd come down there and debate me on the stage in front of the student body, because I wanted somebody who was from the other side to come down there and balance my, because I felt like, well, these guys can listen to me, but I need to have somebody else down here that's going to tell me the other side. But Fauci didn't want to do it.
So, but what I want.
How was that a while ago?
It was like 3 years ago. He passed away mysteriously.
It just looks so old, and the guy is like.
It was like 3 or 4 years ago. He had done an interview because he's the one that came up with, created the PCR test. Okay, which is now a known fact that they calibrated it so high so it would show that you had COVID. Okay, and the way that it was explained to me, it would be like adjusting your speedometer on your car, that if you're going like 7 miles per hour, it would say you're going 400 miles per hour. It accentuates the results, okay? And remember, they said at the beginning there was going to be 2.2 million people were going to die. I don't know if you remember that in the U.S., okay? And they had it kind of backed up because of the PCR tests, okay, which for them substantiated it, but there wasn't the actual deaths. Okay, so that's part of how they manipulated all of us back then, because they said so many people were, they have it, but it wasn't, because the actual calibration was not correct. Okay, so here is one that people.
Did you mean to play that one video? I feel like you brought it up, but then didn't play it. In 2017 with Fauci like predicting or saying there was going to be the pandemic.
Well, that was that article I showed, but
I felt like there was a video or something you wanted to play. Was there not?
Well, it is a video, but I'm afraid I'll get booted off if I play it.
Oh.
Now, this one was just recently. Okay, and I can't get
before the CDC made the recommendation change, I didn't want to look like I was giving mixed signals. But being a vaccinated person, the chances of my getting infected in an indoor setting is extremely low. And that's the reason why in indoor settings now, I feel comfortable about not wearing a mask.
You're telling every... All right, let me do this again then. Sorry about that. Nothing but problems here.
That's okay. We're patient.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm seeing it right here. You don't see this screen though, huh? Oh, I know why.
There we go. Now we see it.
Okay.
Before the CDC made the recommendation change, I didn't want to look like I was giving mixed signals. But being a fully vaccinated person, the chances of my getting infected in an indoor setting is extremely low. And that's the reason why in indoor settings now, I feel comfortable about not wearing a mask.
You're telling everybody to wear a mask,
This is March.
whether they've had an infection or a vaccine. What I'm saying is they have immunity, and everybody agrees they have immunity. What studies do you have that people that have had the vaccine or have had the infection are spreading the infection? If we're not spreading the infection, isn't it just theater?
No, it's
If you had
not.
the vaccine and you're wearing 2 masks, isn't that theater?
No, that's not. Here we go again with the theater. Let's get down to the facts.
I didn't want to look like I was giving mixed signals. But being a fully vaccinated person, the chances of my getting infected in an indoor setting is extremely low. And that's the reason why in indoor settings now, I feel comfortable about not wearing a mask.
So, contradiction right there.
Yeah.
Total contradiction.
You're caught, man.
Right. Right. So,
So it just makes you think, and it makes everyone, you got to think about, like, why are we believing what they're saying all the time?
right.
You know, you got to go find it for yourself, because clearly they're just, you know, flip-flopping on the truth,
Well, here's
or what
one.
they assume to be true.
Here's one that there is a website that is called Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, or VAERS. It's a government website. Okay.
Mhm.
And I'm going to open it up, and this is where you can find out about vaccines. This is the website, and I'll have this in my link. Okay. So, and these are all links. So this here, I'm going to go right to this one right here. Okay. This will give you all of the adverse event reports. Okay. This is through May 7th. I can click on this one: deaths, hospitalizations. I can't pronounce that. Urgent care, but you can go into the detail of everything that's been going on.
Anaphylaxis.
Huh? Okay.
Anaphylaxis.
Okay. So this will tell you male, female, age, you name it. It's all right there. Okay.
And I think what people need to understand is, like we said, what was it, last episode or a couple episodes ago about this should be pulled. This shouldn't be available to the public, because this is not okay.
There's a high probability, Taffy, that we're going to get booted because I showed this website. Okay. And it's the truth. But I'm telling you, there's a high probability we're gonna be booted because I have this website up. That's how evil Satan is, because they don't want people to know.
They don't want people to wake up.
Right.
And that is, like, I was listening to David Nino Rodriguez, and he's talking, you know, I've talked about it before, and in order for this to all kind of, the kibosh to be put on all of their agenda, is we need to have at least 81% of the world wake up and understand the truth.
Yep.
And right now we're at about 67% based on like online chatter and what they can tell.
However they measure it. Yeah, I read
However they measure it, we're at about 67%. And the problem is we are trying to share the truth with people. And when you get down to the actual truth, you have their agenda of the people who run the technology, YouTube, whatever it is, that hear the truth, and they're like, oh, we got to pull them. They're going to wake too many people up.
Did you hear how a big prayer group just got booted off of Facebook?
No.
700,000 users. Yeah, I saw it this morning. Yeah.
Why did a prayer group booted? Did you hear why? I
haven't had a chance to. That was just before we got on, and I popped up on something about Facebook, and they booted a Facebook group. So people, I don't know if people realize all that, you know, because that'll never hit mainstream. Okay.
No.
Just silenced, you know. But I want to know: have you ever heard of Luciferace?
No.
Okay. All right. So that is a technology that Mr. Bill Gates is a part of. And it is we'll call it it's like a tattoo that's not visual, but it can be put on your body, which I consider the mark of the beast. It's called Luciferace, like Lucifer. Okay.
Luciferace. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll bring it up. And here's the interesting thing. If people really want to, and again, this will be in the description box. Okay. It is about putting like a tattoo on your hand that's not visible, but when they have the certain like infrared, they can then read. It's like a tracking. Okay. And it's the technology that they have. And Mr. Gates has spoke about it in previous past, and they've taken it down and saying it's all conspiracy. But they have a patent. You can look up the patent. Guess what the patent number is?
666.
060606. So you take out the zeros at 666. That's the patent.
Figured.
Okay.
Figured.
Right. And here is this is, let me share the screen. Okay. You see that?
Yeah.
So Luciferace, however you want, I don't know how you want to pronounce it, but that's the name of it. Okay. And it's out there. And again, I'm afraid to read some of this because I'm afraid might already get booted. But it is basically it's a chip or a mark that you don't see, but they can activate it. Okay. And it's out there.
So does anybody have it right now is what I'm asking?
No, it's something that will, they have the patent on it. Okay. Now I can tell you,
So,
go ahead.
so what I'm asking is the agenda of this to get the entire race
Definitely
tattooed with this?
Definitely.
To control and to know kind of who has had the jab, who's had whatever they've done.
It's called transhumanism. It's a piece of transhumanism. Okay. It is about control. People are going to find out, there's a term nanobots. There's a lot that's going on. I mean, again, why would they call it Luciferace?
Yeah. You could pick any other names.
And
why are you picking that one?
060606. Look it up. It's there.
And they've got to put it right in front of your face, like we've said.
They have to put it on your face. If you do nothing about
it, wasn't it like back like a year ago, the supposed, as they call us, conspiracy theorists were saying, oh, they're gonna make everyone get the jab, and you're gonna come out with a jab ID, and the whole mainstream media was saying, oh, those conspiracy theorists, that would never happen, they're crazy. And now look what's happening.
Right.
So who's to say that, you and I, the supposed conspiracy theorists reporting on this, so then they're going to come out and say, oh, well, they're just crazy, that's never happened. And then a year ago, what is it going to be?
Right.
So people need to wake up.
Yeah, it is. It's because it's right in front of our faces. I mean, I see it every day. When you don't listen to what the devil says on that black box, because again, they're going to tell you what you want to hear. And here's what's really amazing. I was watching Charlie Ward last night, and people don't know I've mentioned Charlie Ward has over 13 million viewers. Okay.
How long has he been around? Like created a following for? Do you know?
Less than a year.
That's it?
Less than a year. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
He started what we're doing less than a year ago. He has 13 million followers now. Okay.
Wow.
And he has a friend, and he lives in Spain, but he's from the UK, and he has a friend who has like a show on British television, kind of like a home remodeling.
Wait, you could stop sharing. Sorry, Dad.
Okay.
I'm just reminding you to stop sharing.
He has a home remodeling show over in the UK. I can't remember the name of it, but he was talking about it last night. And his show is on 5 days a week, where he buys old homes, refurbishes them, kind of like we have shows over here. And he's somewhat kind of known, I guess, over in the UK. And he's a personal friend, and Charlie hadn't spoken to him in almost 10 years. And they end up connecting, and he had told him about what he does. Charlie tells the truth. He's trying to inform people like we are about what's going on. And he told him, he goes, I have over 13 million followers. And the guy was like, what?
What?
You have 13 million followers. And he told him just briefly about what's going on in the world today. And the guy had no clue at all. He had no, and Charlie was like, he has no clue of anything that's going on. he said he's been in this, call it this, he's in the matrix, like a lot of people are, that just believe what they hear. He had never heard anything of what Charlie has spoken about. Zip zero. He said, man, he goes, but the guy wanted to know more because Charlie gave him facts, and he was like, he was starting the awakening process. Okay. The fact that he was like, here he is, this grown man, and has no idea what's going on outside his four walls of his world. He's okay with where he's at in his world.
But that's the thing, is he's okay because he doesn't know any different, which is a lot of people, a majority, not majority, but 67% of the people are awakening up. But the other 43% are not awake. And that's where I feel like that's where all of us have to come together and stand up and speak up so that people can see, oh, there is more outside of the four walls in which I allow myself to stay.
Exactly. Yeah, it's and that's what Denise and I were talking about last night when we saw it. It's like, man, you know what? We know there's a lot of people out there that have just no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, and ignorance is not an excuse, because when that time comes to pick your lane, ignorance will not get you in the sight of God. You're going to have to, you have a lot of work ahead of you,
Yeah.
Because ignorance is not an excuse. It's just not an excuse. So, that's all we're trying to do is just, enlighten people. Here's another very disturbing thing that has to do with, and again, Satan's all over the place. I'm gonna tell you, 95% of what we know today is all false. That's my belief. And
like, what was I saying to you earlier today? Is like, I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that book by Dr. Seuss called Wacky Wednesday. And I literally feel like I'm living in a Wacky Wednesday. So if I'm watching something and someone tells me, oh, you need to be doing this on, the media or technology or whatever the world is telling me, you need to be doing this, I'm going to pull a Wacky Wednesday. I'm going to do the opposite. Because there's some sort of agenda that you're trying to make me believe that you want me to fall in line with. Well, probably doing the opposite is what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Because then I'm going to follow my truth and not your crazy ass agenda.
Right. That's all it is just don't believe everything you hear, because 95% of the stuff we've learned through our lifetime has been bullshit. Okay. To put it blankly. Okay. When people really find out this reveal that they're so believe in what they see on television is their gospel. Okay. They've been programmed. That's why it's called programming, But here's something that I have dug into, have to do with Jeffrey Epstein and his island that he had. I'm going to kind of share the screen here. I'm going to show different things on this. These are actually my notes, okay? But I don't know if people know that, Epstein and Gates they're friends. He's been to the island, okay? He's part of it, okay?
There's a manifest from the flight logs with him.
Right, flight logs, right.
On it. Well, you can, like you say, look it up.
Yeah. Now that he's, single, he has a wingman, but, whatever the case. But the actual temple, this is the temple. You see this okay? This is the temple that has now been taken down. But over here in this left-hand corner, that is Baal.
So this is on Epstein Island, correct?
Island. That is Baal, Baal. Okay, just call it. It's Lucifer. That's what this whole building was about. Was basically them acknowledging Baal, Baal. If it's in the Bible. I don't know if you want.
It's in the Old Testament. It's a false god worshiping a false god, which is the Lucifer.
Now, I've mentioned before, we're going to find out that Epstein Island was a hub for a lot of nefarious things, okay? One of those that I believe will come out is that between Mr. Gates and Mr. Epstein, their big nefarious plan was to create a race, an alternate human race, okay? Through all, because you think about what the Nazis were doing and so forth, and all that has continued. And there is an article about it. Now I'm going to bring it up. Where Mr. Epstein, I got to get rid of these ads. however. Oh, I've limited my access. I've opened it up too many times, but it'll be in the description box. Jeffrey Epstein hoped to seed human race with his own DNA, and this was a project with he and Bill Gates, okay, of creating their own human race, okay, and those two guys have a lot of dang money, and they could do it, okay. It's out there, and there's plenty more articles out there, but I didn't want to get too crazy with my stuff because I know we're probably gonna get booted anyways here, so.
Well, I mean, can't we do like what Scott McKay and Jaco do, is put it up but then pull it down and put it on Rumble?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to see what happens with this one. Okay, I'm just going to give it a test because I'm trying to be very careful what I say and how I say it. But if we get booted, then what I will do is post this. We will do live shows, and then I will do a short 1-minute video explaining to people, hey, we have a live show, and I'll have on there. They'll go to Rumble.
Okay.
That's what Scott McKay has to now do. Because you think about it.
Yeah.
Scott McKay, I think his total base now is close to 30 million people that watch and view his stuff. Okay. And again, he just started last year. Okay.
Yeah.
30 million people. And
he has 30 million. He went above
between all his formats that have what people watch. Yeah. And so the thing you have to think about is he now has 12 different. He's on his 12th Patriot Street Fighter channel. Okay, and so he gets booted, creates another channel, and now what he does is when he does one goes live, he puts a link in there and it goes to Rumble.
That's so funny. I remember starting watching him, and it was like his very first one, and then just building them.
He's grown immensely. Now this other thing I'm going to show, just for people's kind of education here. This was a picture, I don't know if people have ever seen it, of Bill Clinton. Okay. That
is not him.
Yes.
It is not him.
Yes. Now.
Come on, Dad.
You can look it up. If anyone was to put out there, because I didn't get the link on this, Bill Clinton blue dress. Okay.
That is so photoshopped.
No.
Okay. All right. I'll let you go. Okay. Sorry.
It's not photoshopped. It isn't. This was hanging in Epstein's New York mansion. Okay. All right. Now, I want you to notice something. What kind of shoes does he have on?
The red. Yeah, that's...
Red shoes. And what does red shoes represent?
The children.
Yeah, pedophilia. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is... I mean, you can look... There's so many articles on it. Okay. I remember this actually came out, I want to say, a couple years ago when I first saw this. Okay.
Is there any way you could zoom in on that?
Let me see.
No, sorry.
Yeah, there will. I'll get it. It's with he and I didn't have the single picture. So I want you to know what this pose is. I think this has to do with Monica Lewinsky. There's an inference to this, okay? So this was hanging in Epstein's, I think it was a New York mansion.
It looks like it's a painting.
It is a painting.
Oh, that's why I'm so like my brain is. I'm like, that's not a photo. Like I thought it was like someone to.
No, it's a painting.
Okay, now I get it.
Yeah, it's a painting. I'm sorry, I didn't clarify. Okay, so. Yeah.
So what were you going to explain around his pose? You were going to say something about his pose or something.
It has to. And I haven't read all the details, but there's an inference in that to Monica Lewinsky. You know about Monica Lewinsky, right?
Well, yeah, I remember that.
Okay. So there's usually messaging in there, okay? But that is a photo of him in a blue dress. Because maybe Monica had a blue dress. I think that's what it was. Okay. Monica had a blue dress, yeah. With
maybe that's the one she was wearing.
Yeah. Okay.
The cigar night.
Yeah. Then I'm going to go back over to this, okay? And I'm going to share the screen on this one. It'll just take me a second. This has to do with the Moderna one. See this? Okay.
Yeah.
It says right there what it is.
Operating system.
Okay. and it's there, okay, and what it does. Now, what I would tell you, my own personal belief is that God gave us the human body with our immune system to fight off disease. I've been healthy my whole life. I've gotten sick a couple times in my life, but not like deathly sick. And there's no way I'm going to get this. I got these, okay? I got health. I'm a healthy person. I don't need to add these items in my system. But this is, because I think in previous show I tried to find it, but I did find it. This is, because the website address I was wrong, but this is the website. It'll be in the actual description box, okay, of it's an operating system, point blank.
Well, I think we had talked about it before, is like the nanobots that are so tiny that go into the jab. Yeah. And then you have that, you can see under the microscope how they start to attack the blood, but then when you first get it, you put the magnet right there and sticks. Like
last week. Yep.
Right there, and then eventually it doesn't stick anymore because they've gotten all dispersed throughout your whole body.
Right. Yep. It's all very nefarious. Okay, then there is this gentleman named Charles Lieber. He was a Harvard professor. Okay, and I don't know if people realized he was put into jail. Okay, he was getting $50,000 a month from China, and he was working on the nanotechnology to put inside the human body. Okay, and here is let me share the screen, because it's going to be in the description box. About the Harvard University, Mr. Charles Lieber has been indicted by federal government on 2 counts of making false statements, will be arraigned in federal later date. And this talks about this nanotechnology that went into the human body. It's all right here, okay? But I'm afraid if I go into detail on this, that's why I've realized Mike Jacob, when he does it, he does not read too much of it because he's in fear he'll get booted. It's the same thing. All we can do is lead you there. It's in the description box, but here it is. Another example, okay?
And that's in the description box?
Yes. Yep.
So,
yes, it is.
In your opinion, or maybe you have documents that you found that support this, having these nanobots in the jab, then going into the body, what is the plan for these bots?
Okay, so that's so in with this is a highly concentrated nanobot, because you're getting right in there. Okay, there's a lot. The other way these things do get into the human body is through, we've talked about it, and it's through chemtrails. CEM, the word chem and the word trails. Okay, and people look it up. There is what's put in there. They're smaller than a human hair. I mean, they're so small, but they're like that's an operating system. It's an operating system. It's in your body. And with 5G, okay, there's a reason why I wear this. Okay, it's called a 5G inhibitor. There's different formats you can get, but it will be part of what I call the transhumanism. And people can look up transhumanism. Okay, it's a word, you can look it up. It is going to be a way that they will control people. There will be new diseases, and I'll say control of people from what they think. It's all, and I know people go, oh, conspiracy, whatever. Okay, look at it. Look at what transhumanism is. It is one of those first steps of putting in. It's an operating system into your body, and it will be activated through 5G. Okay, that is the big plan. Okay, it's also the big plan via the Georgia Stones to reduce our population to 500 million. How do they do that? Well, one way they can do it is they can inject you with stuff, and they can control you, and they can create new diseases, whatever the case, what they want to do to get to that point. Okay, it's just there's all kinds of dots out there. You just have to bring them together and connect the dots. Okay,
yeah,
because this is so nefarious. Because I go back to 95% of what we know has been false. Okay, and there's a reason why we've never challenged it, is because we only use 6% of our brain. Why is that? Why would God give us a brain that we only use 6%? He let us use the whole thing. Okay, but we have been suppressed by the devil to not enlighten us of what our true capabilities are. When we find out is what we're able to do as human beings, we're going to be shocked. And when we find out why we've been suppressed, people are going to be so upset. There is going to be a lot of people, I don't know if they're going to be able to handle the truth, quite honestly, when all this comes out. That's all we're trying to do, is get people slightly enlightened here. Just slightly. Just ask the question. Because we, as humans, have so many capabilities that we don't have no idea that what we're able to do. I know for me right now, since I've gotten to higher frequency, I am able to see things. I'm learning how to, there's a term, remote view, okay? We all have the capability to remote view. If you look up what remote viewing is, we have it. And you get there through a higher frequency. It's through an understanding of God and connecting to God that you'll be able to see things, okay? And we have this, I use the term, we have a pineal gland inside of our brain. They call it the third eye. It's your intuition, okay? It's unlocking that third eye that gives you the foresight, the insight. But the only way you're going to be able to unlock that is through love, unity, peace. It's being at peace with yourself and with everybody else. If you go down the rabbit hole of being negative and believing what's in that damn black box, you'll never get there. You will never, ever, ever get there, and you'll be left behind. Okay.
That's why you have to. It's real important to open up the Bible and the Word of God and understand where the truth is, and do your own research.
Right.
But one thing I did want to bring up, because had mentioned, we were talking a little bit about the jab and the plan of it and all that. For anyone that has already gotten in, is like, okay, what do I do from here? You were talking about staying in that constant state. Like, our body has a powerful way to heal itself by using the power of thought and thinking good, peaceful, joyful thoughts, and not staying in that state of negativity.
Right.
And I saw this scripture yesterday. My friend brought it up to me from Mark 16:15 through 18 that I really wanted to read, because I felt like for the people out there that have taken this jab, there is still freedom from it. And in Mark 16, 15 through 18, Jesus is speaking, and he says, "Go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation. Whoever believes and is baptized will be saved, but whoever does not believe will be condemned. And these signs will accompany those who believe." So he's saying, these are the signs. This is how you will know that you believe in my name. In my name, they will drive out demons. They will speak in new tongues. They will pick up snakes with their hands. And when they drink deadly poison, it will not hurt them at all. They will place their hands on sick people and they will get well. So if you come to a point where you're like, yes, I'm ready to learn more, I want to seek out the Lord, knowing that when you invite him in, you have that ability to know that if you have come drinking the deadly poison, it will not affect you at all. But you have to believe that.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer, as I've become more and more clear, as God speaks to me all the time, and I've had that revelation that he built us to heal ourselves, and you do that through getting to a higher frequency, and the frequency is the connection to God. The more that you, release your thoughts and connect with God, we have the ability to heal ourselves. It's all going to come out. These pharmaceutical companies are controlled by these Illuminati family, okay? They are, okay? It's a fact. They profit from it, okay? But we have the ability to heal. We're going to find out through things we grow, CBD. Again, I'm not talking THC. I'm not talking cannabis. I'm talking CBD, which comes from the hemp plant, is going to have healing power for people, okay? We don't need all these darn drugs.
Well, we talked about it before. The Greek word for pharmacy is pharmakia, which translates into sorcery and witchcraft.
Bingo. Yeah. It's always right in front of our face. We just have to, kind of, understand what it's all about, The other thing that came to me, Taffy, and I have to be careful I say this, is, when this whole pandemic hit a little over a year ago, there was the big push about HQ, You know, the
yes, yeah,
you know, which you know is it helps
the one
people.
that the 45 had said was great, and then
was
they
great, yeah, and it's used like in Africa for malaria and so forth, which
it's
they have
used here for people with rheumatoid arthritis.
which ironically over there in Africa they virtually have no COVID.
Yeah.
But I'm having this message sent to me that HQ, okay, will be something. Two effects. It will be something that will people who got the jab will help, okay, and reduce its effects, as well as HQ will also be something that will help people to, I'll use the term, to decalcify their pineal gland. That'll help them get to that new frequency. Because if you're stuck in this negativity, you've got to find a way to get out of it. You know, read the Bible, you know, connect with Jesus. But you know, like me, like for myself also, I mean, fluoride is an item that calcifies your pineal gland. That's why we no longer use toothpaste with no fluoride. I have never drinking tap water, but there's a lot of bottled waters out there that have fluoride in it if you read it, okay? There's only a few out there that don't have ingredients in it, okay? And I recommend people look at the water you're drinking. Look at the ingredients. Why should water have ingredients? Okay?
Why should water have ingredients? Exactly. Why do you have to add something?
Exactly. Now, here's something else when it comes to the Bible. You know, they talked about in Revelations how, you know, they call it the Antichrist, comes with all kinds of, you know, call them miracles and
signs and wonders.
Signs and wonders, and brings you know, fire down from the sky and does all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, it's already out there. It's called HARP. Okay, it's a weather manipulation. It's a weather modification, okay, system. And here it is here. And if you think about what happened in just like in the state of Texas this last winter, where they had this huge freeze that lasted for I don't know how long, a couple weeks, and there was videos of people taking the snow and lighting it on fire, and it didn't melt; it turned black. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's HARP. Okay. And I believe, you know, you and I mentioned, talked about this. Wasn't Satan an actual musician? And I believe he played the harp. Is that?
I'm not. I told you I'd look that up, but I actually never did. I'm reminded. I don't know. I can't. It wouldn't surprise me, but I can't say that I know that for sure.
I just find it ironic that they call this harp. Okay. All right. But it is weather manipulation. What could be viewed as something that's, you know, oh my gosh, this is magic. Okay. And then let me stop my screen here. There's just a lot of stuff out there that's going on in our world that, I mean, people just think, oh, it's just news or something. They don't try and make a connection. What I personally do is if I see something, I try and peel back that onion and see if there's something there. Okay. You know, so. And
that's all we can do. That's the best we can do is don't treat us in this channel or any other channel that you watch as a black box.
Right.
And what we say is gold. It's not. Well, you've got to research your own.
Yeah, and here's something to think about. I only got a couple more things here, Taffy. Is one of them is the mainstream media, okay? And you know, when you guys were younger, I called it hamburger head TV. There was a reason behind it. I tried to limit.
And well, I'm finally now after 38 years of believing you.
So, but I've always, there's a lot of times where I wouldn't watch the television. I would listen to what they were saying, okay, versus watching the visual, because it's almost like a magic show. But if you just listen to the words of what they say, they're trying to frame up your thoughts, okay? And CNN and all these, they're some of the worst, okay?
I know, right? Are you bringing up that CNN one?
Yeah. But it goes on all the time. I've cited many times where I'll be lying in bed, and this was before when we were still watching news, and I would, your mom might have the news on, I would go, oh, there it is. You can hear it. Watch what they're saying. Here's how they're saying it. Listen to their inflection of their voice. They're trying to guide your mind in the path they want you to go. It happens all the time, okay? They're trying to create the narrative in your head, Okay, so
Yeah.
you would believe them. So here's a prime example of that just happened last week, had to do with the Arizona audit. This is CNN. And you just listen to her, well, LT explains it. So, you know, I mean, he kind of explains it. But it's right there, and this happens all the time, 24/7. 24/7. This is just a small example.
And this is the LT, which we talk about often from andweknow.com.
Yes, and this
1 million ballots in Maricopa County.
Okay, I'm going to make this big. Back it up just a tad. This is CNN. Here we go.
20 election was stolen.
So this is the press box, and that's the floor.
The counting floor of yet another tally of the nearly
listen to her words.
2.1 million ballots in Maricopa County from a distance. And they're keeping reporters so far away that I have to use binoculars.
Binoculars?
What reporters bring binoculars and then film it so that they can show you that that's what they're using? How stupid. This is the Communist News Network.
To see, it looks like a ballot review, but look harder. And the ballots are on a lazy Susan, zooming
Listen
by
to her
ballot
inflections.
counters. This guy in a cowboy hat, walking around with what appears to be some type of cell phone jammer, and then
A cowboy.
Jammer?
Oh my goodness, we gotta be careful. The Cowboys are here.
there's this machine with multiple cameras.
2 of the 3 matching.
Ken Bennett, hired by the Republican-controlled Arizona
Republican
Senate to help
control-
run this
controlled
ballot
Senate.
review, explains why they're using it.
Some microscopic cameras can zoom in on certain parts of the ballot to make sure that where the ovals were filled in, there's a depression.
So I'm going to keep going this going. So here she's asking, what are these cameras for? Because they're finding that a lot of these ballots that they have, because if you fill out a ballot with with your pen, there's going to be an impression in that bubble because you're using your pen, and this is to show if there's actually an impression or were these photocopied ballots.
Yeah.
That's what this camera does. Okay, but you wait till you hear this.
Instead of the ovals being filled in by a Xerox machine.
Is there concern that ballots were Xeroxed?
Is there really?
There's always concern that we want to make sure that every ballot came from an eligible registered voter in Maricopa County, as opposed to somebody trying to introduce.
So I'm going to keep this going, but my biggest thing here is if the other side really felt like they won, what do they have to worry about?
Yeah.
What do they have to worry about? I don't get it. I mean, but wait till you see.
I get it. I get it because
wait
they
till
know
you see
they
what she
lied.
says now. Wait till what this reporter says now. This is where the true manipulation comes in. This is where it really hits.
Unauthorized ballots.
That
Now, watch what she does after that amazing answer from him to just share that, they can be Xeroxed. Remember, we were told before the November election by the mainstream media hundreds of thousands of times that elections can be rigged, right? We were told that Trump's was rigged and Hillary should have won and blah, blah, blah. Watch how she answers. Watch what she says.
Yeah.
a conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy theory. And then what else does she say?
Ballots were somehow snuck in, leading to Donald Trump's defeat in the state last year. These types of lies resonated with ballot counters like
Types of
Ellen's
lies?
flag.
These types of lies. She called it a lie. Not doing her job as a normal reporter where you report the news. Let's add in what her take is it's a lie. We know it's not a lie, but that's what they tell their Communist News Network folks.
Hope that we can come to a point where we're happy with the results and the truth is told.
We talked to her as workers arrived outside the Coliseum to count ballots. Their cars covered with bumper stickers supporting Trump and logos for conspiracy websites.
Do you think that Donald Trump won Arizona?
Yes, I do. I think that Donald Trump won the election. Firm believer.
No big deal.
These workers didn't want to talk unless
I would like to hear you guys talk about Hunter Biden's laptop.
They kind of made a sign of non-disclosure.
So, let's stop with that one. I'm kind of tired of listening to the Communist News Network, and we'll just continue moving on. Who's going to suffer from any type of gas short?
That was just a good explanation by LT, okay? But that goes on all the time. If you watch any news...
Am I here?
Huh?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
That was so freaking weird.
What?
You didn't have that happen to you?
I had my phone
I'm
ring.
freaking Twilight Zone right now.
Well, guess what? My phone rang and it said it was from you.
It was me. I was
Yeah.
calling you. I got totally booted off. I didn't watch any of that. All of a sudden, my computer starts twitching, and then
Really?
and then you disappear, and then you come back up, and it's right where it left off. And it's like almost like time froze for like 2 minutes.
Should I play it again just to play it safe? I wonder if it got recorded.
I don't know. That was really weird.
Well, I'll tell you
Like,
what.
I literally think there was like 2 minutes of time where like everything went black, and then it popped right back up, and we were right where we started. I'm like so freaking out right now.
Did you see any of it?
Yes, I did. I saw the whole thing, but the weirdest thing,
What? Tell me what happened. I don't know.
weirdest thing is it froze, right? And I just was like, okay, like nothing's happening, and it froze for like a whole minute. So I'm like sitting here, I'm like, oh, we must have gotten booted off. So then I call you, and I'm calling you, and you're not picking up. And as I'm calling you, then it just pops back up right where it froze 2 minutes ago, and it just starts continuing, and then now we're talking.
So you did see the whole clip?
I did see the whole clip.
Oh, I'm telling you. Yeah, we probably got booted.
Oh, that was so weird.
Huh. We'll have to see what happens. I have one more reporter one, okay? One more reporter one here. I think this was in Orange County.
I can't wait to see what the video looks like that happened.
So this is this gal, I think it's in Orange County. I can't say for sure where, but this is like the one from last week. She's got a mask on and she's doing a report. Now listen to this lady that's a bystander.
Why are you wearing that mask? Yes, it is. You don't need to wear it, and you know you don't need to wear it, and all you're doing is perpetuating fear. I'm sure she didn't have it on minutes ago, right? I have a picture of it. Yeah, I know. It's a bunch of fucking bullshit, is what it is. Do you want to know that my 3-year-old son wasn't able to be seen at the OC urgent care last night? Because I can't wear that shit. I'm just doing my job. I'm just doing my job, right? Instilling fear in the public for no fucking reason. For no fucking reason, right? My story won't get covered. I don't want my story covered by fake fucking news. Call the police. Call the police. Bye. We don't want your fucking kind here.
Okay. I have to say, I don't know if that commentary girl was operating from a place of peace, joy, and love.
No.
She had a little bit of anger in her.
Just a second. Let me get this turned off. No, I would agree. But you know what, though? She had a lot of passion. Because I think
passion.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are starting to rise up, okay? Which, hey, people rise up in different ways, all right? And she'll learn, but she's, a concerned citizen. But I will tell you, the other thing that I've shown on previous ones is the amount of people that are rising up across the globe. I mean, in mass. And I wish I had it. I couldn't find it. But there is a picture of, it's got to be at least 1 million people in Brazil that have risen up. And they are pissed, just like in the United Kingdom and across the globe. We're just not having it happen here. Because I think what we're finding out is that the media has had such a grip on the American people. It's amazing that no one's kind of like seeing it. Okay, I pray every night that we have just a small piece in waking people up. My hopes is that just a few people might say, hey, did you see that show Lane 4? At least check it out, because then we have all the links for everybody else, from Charlie to Nino, to Scott McKay to Mike Jaco, because it is spreading. When I watched Mike Jaco last night with Scott, they're seeing it. There's now people globally watching these guys. Okay, that's why their base is growing so much. And now that Mike Jaco has just said screw YouTube, he's now on Rumble, and his whole audience has shifted over there, where he can speak freely and not have to be, you can't say certain words and all that kind of crap. That is, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a movement going on. People are becoming more aware. And if we get booted off, so be it. You know what? All we're trying to do, Taffy and I, we're not doing this for any money. We're just doing this trying to just inform people. And, you know, Satan might get us on YouTube, but I'm still going to do this every week. And if I post it on, you know, Rumble, or I'll do alternate channels, I just hope people will at least seek to find answers to this, okay? Don't just sit back and think everything's hunky-dory, because it ain't. Yeah. Stuff's going to be changing here pretty quick. If you open up your eyes, you'll be able to see it. So.
Yep, exactly. We got to start opening up and sharing and telling people, and just, you know, if you see something that you're like, oh my gosh, that has some truth to it, like, hey, try and share it on your Instagram page or your Facebook page. I mean, can't say you're not going to get, you know, a flag for it, but.
Yeah. Well, the thing I can tell you what's happened here, Taffy, in the last week and a half since we got booted, is our viewership of our older videos grows every day, okay? Mm-hmm. Which is a good little sign. And I've had some wonderful comments from people. I've had one just recently. I'm going back and forth with a gentleman who's very insightful on what's going on in the world, and he's trying to spread the word too. So there's stuff going on out there. And I believe the momentum is picking up, and there's more and more people are becoming aware. And, you know, we just have to keep doing what we're doing. If we get booted, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, I have the other channel ready to go and Rumble ready to go, and so be it. If people think we're a bunch of conspiracy theorists, I don't care. I really don't care. You know.
Yeah. Well,
you'll be the one that's not going to be saved. So. You know.
Well, we know who we are, and we know who we are. We know whose we are.
Right.
The world and everyone else out there doesn't define us. Right. We answer to an audience of one.
Right. Yeah.
We feel called to share the truth, and we're going to heed that calling and continue to do this, no matter what obstacles put in our way. Right.
Exactly. So, yeah. No, I agree. Anything else that you want to cover off?
No, I think, you did good.
Well, I have a lot of other stuff for the next one too, because I saved a lot of stuff, and I thought, man, there's just a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm just trying to connect.
Do you want to do another one the next few days? And
yeah, again, I'm not going to be home, but I'm definitely going to. We'll do it. We'll figure out a time. You know, but definitely, yeah, because I'm not. Every time I watch something, I make a note of it, and you know, I put it on the, you know. I make myself a note, and then I go research it to validate it. Yeah, so, and I'm building that list right now for the next one. So
I think that for people to just know, like, we're always going to be posting on our Instagram when we're going live, and you're pretty like, I pretty much will handle the Instagram. You kind of get into the Telegram. So if you find us on Telegram, what is it called? Pick Your Lane.
Pick Your Lane. Yep.
You can find out whenever we're going live in all of our videos.
I do want to show one more thing though, because I talked about frequency with people. Okay.
Yeah.
And that is one of the key things. I'll end this with this. You need to find a way to increase your frequency, okay? And that is I'll say it's your connection to God, your higher connection to God. And part of that frequency is to, you know, even the music you listen to. You know, on YouTube and other platforms, if you type in 528, you know, megahertz music, and there's 728, and there's a higher frequency of music. And if you just start listening to that music, okay, you'll feel the difference. You will feel it. It relaxes your mind, gives you a clearer mind to think. And then I have this. This is what I call my frequency bowl. And Mike Jaco is the one who turned me on to it. Okay? And this is one way of getting to a better frequency. Okay? And what I'll do is I'll take a deep breath, exhale, and it's a great frequency, and then I can get great little sounds out of this thing.
Wow, that's cool. I'm gonna go sleep.
And you just find a way to relax. You got to find a way to take time to get your body to relax. And this is a ball that I use, and it's a great way to settle your mind.
Yeah.
And, you know, have great thoughts. And the last thing is, again, as a reminder, my beanie here for people that don't know, where we go one, we go all. There's only one race, the human race. There is no racism. Okay, we're all brothers and sisters. We're all, there is no, to me it's Muslim, Christian, whatever your faith, we're all one. Because in the end, when all this comes to fruition and it's time to pick your lane, it's where we go one, we go all. And I'm a firm believer in that. And I believe I have a higher calling to be a part of that process. And God's telling me to do all you can to inform people. Okay, get them ready. And I'm going to be a part of that process. So I'm doing what my overall calling is. Even though I have so much other crap going on in my life, this is where I'm having all my fun. Okay, let's do this. So, but I'll leave it at that. My wonderful crystal ball. So, all right. Okay, well, we'll end it there, Taffy. Okay. All right. All right. You have a wonderful day. All right. Love you.
Love you.